Set up the xdebug listener in PHP Storm to listen in on development code. That is my purpose. However, that is not what this video is going to accomplish. That's not what I'm gonna do during this video. In this video, I'm just regurgitating what I have found out by reviewing the things I've done before with regards to xdebug. What do I know about the xdebug installation on my virtual machine? I installed it by doing apt-get install php5 xdebug. This installed and enabled xdebug for both the CLI SAPI and the Apache 2 SAPI. So far, I installed xdebug on my virtual machine. Now we go to this file here, this ini file. That is the file where the configuration for xdebug happens. It's in the mods available for PHP 5 in Etsy. Xdebug has profiling disabled by default. To enable profiling, two things must happen. I have to put the INI settings, and each script must request profiling on a script-by-script basis. Profiling results are saved in a temporary file. Okay, it's not necessarily temporary. Okay, every time you do profiling, there will be a new profiling file created. You could put that profiling file in a directory that is a subdirectory of the temp directory. And in that case, it will be a temporary file. Okay. So to see and analyze the profiling results, you need to use third-party software. In my case, before, I have been using WebGrind. In the case which will follow in the future, I'll be using PHP Storm. Okay. When xdebug is used without profiling, you'll still see the enhanced error output to the browser when something goes wrong. I'm going to show you the configuration file. Here, we are telling PHP to load the module for xdebug. Then, we are specifying that profiling is to be enabled, and that's profiling for xdebug. And then, we are specifying the directory where the profiling files will go, and then I'm not sure what that is or when I added it, but it's here. Okay, so that's the file. So here we enabled profiling and we specified where the output profiling files will go, the directory. When profiling output is placed in a file which is in a subdirectory of temp directory, then it will be lost after garbage collection. And garbage collection always happens when you reboot the machine. For the profiling directory, I have to create it. You know, specifying what it is or where it is one thing. And that's what we do here in the configuration file. However, you also have to create that directory and you have to make it owned by Apache. To trigger, in order for one of your scripts to be profiled, you have to pass this query string parameter, xdebug profile equals 1. It's a good idea to have the profiling data directory under temp so it doesn't grow too big. However, you will need to recreate that directory every time the virtual machine is rebooted. And that's it for the background information, which I have gleaned by going over the videos for when I set up my development environment. What will follow is actually how I'm going to use this with PHP Storm.